But anyways, we want to do that. I'm very excited to get out of the
Alrighty guys, so I'm currently on the way to the gym right now, and I'm really fighting against my wheel right now because for some reason my power steering is giving out. So I don't know if it's just fluid or if it is like my power steering actually giving out. So don't know really what happens. Sometimes it gets a little bit easier to drive, and then sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. So it really just depends on what's going on. But I mean, it was just fine like 2 days ago, and then now it's giving out. So my car is almost at like 200,000 miles, so it's probably time for an upgrade. But then again, like I also barely drive my car as it is. So there's also that factor as well. But it's probably time for me to start looking into a newer car. But you know, I don't know, cars are so expensive. Like it's something that I like don't really ever see myself trying to put a lot of money into, and that's just, I don't know, that's just because I just can't justify spending a lot of money on a car. But anyways, going to the gym. I have back and biceps today, so it should be a pretty solid workout. Should be a pretty solid workout, and hopefully at the end of the workout I end up doing a little bit of a posing routine. That's kind of the plan for today. Got my pre-workout here that I need to actually start drinking because I have not been. And as for the workout, on 2 of the workouts I'm really going to be trying to focus on slower reps. So it's basically going to be a 3-2-1 style of set. So 3 seconds pulling down, 2 second hold, 1 second back up, or like a 3 second row, 2 second hold. Or it's basically going to be a 3 second row, so 3 second pull, 2 second hold, 1 second back down. Still trying to figure out what specific movements I actually want to do today. I usually do like to get warmed up with like pull-ups, just because that is such a good compound movement, because you're pulling up, and that is a good tension on your back, and then you're also going down, and there's also a good amount of tension on there as well. I don't know, I guess that really wouldn't be a compound movement, because you're really only using your back, you're just isolating it. So, but anyway, I like to get warmed up with my back, just by doing pull-ups, because I think it's just a good natural way to build your back and kind of evenly do it, as long as you're doing it correctly. And it's really helped strengthen my back a lot. I feel like my back is probably one of my stronger body parts that I like to work out, so that is kind of my thought process behind it. But yeah, so I got back, and then after that I will have biceps, and that will be a pretty good workout because I really need to get like a good pump for my biceps today. And also doing back, that also focus your biceps. So you kind of, like, I've kind of noticed that I don't really need to do a whole lot of bicep movements after doing back, just because my biceps already feel fried. And it's not like when I'm doing back, I'm trying to isolate biceps at all. I'm just happen to be doing them as well while I'm working on my back, just because that area is being targeted as well. That's why I kind of do chest and triceps together, because you're pushing, so you're pushing with your triceps and you're pushing with your chest. And then that's why I do back and biceps together, because you're pulling and you're really focusing on that bicep tendon. So should be a pretty good workout today. And then either later tonight, I think we'll be just kind of chilling. I know later today I'm going to be editing some videos, so nothing too crazy. But this weekend we might try to go snowboarding. I know I was talking about going snowboarding Sunday, because next weekend we're doing like a St. Patrick's Day parade or like festival or like something like that. I'm not really sure what we're doing. But we got that going on, so hopefully it's not too cold next week, because I don't want to be outside freezing my ass off the whole time. And just drinking sugary drinks. That just doesn't sound fun to me. So hopefully there's like good beer or something. I'm not really sure, but that's next weekend. So really just trying to get in my snowboarding days. I might take off like 1 or 2 days next week just to like go snowboarding by myself, because like I said, I've really only gone once this year, and I really miss it. So over the past couple days I've been playing the new Apex season. It's been pretty fun. They had this new battle arena, and it's been really cool. It's just like this giant Thunderdome or battle arena type thing, and you can play team deathmatch or control on it. I've been having a blast with it, even though my internet connection has been absolute sandy cheeks right now, because I'm running my computer off of a Wi-Fi rather than Ethernet. And even on Ethernet, my connection is also pretty terrible for some reason. I don't know why it's so bad, but it's just not a very good connection for some reason. And I've never really had that issue, especially with like Xfinity. You would think that Xfinity usually has pretty good internet. I've pretty much used it my whole life, and whenever I am plugged in with an Ethernet, I never have any issues. Like usually my ping, when I lived at my other houses, it's been around, depending on the game, it's been around like 13 to like 28, which is pretty good. But now, like most of my internet connection, it's typically around like 50 to 80. And even when I was hardwired, it was around 28 to 50. So it was still pretty bad. I didn't quite understand why those issues were happening with my connection. So anyways, pulling up to the gym right now. Gonna hit this back and bicep workout, and really just gonna be pushing it at the gym today. Really just trying to absolutely cook it, but I'm also trying to get it done within a certain amount of time as well, so I'm not absolutely cooked. And then I'm also going to be doing cardio today as well. So that is currently the plan. So when I'm going reverse with my car, my power steering feels a little bit better. So I don't know what's up with that. Either way though, I definitely need to get rid of this car. It's on its last leg. It's definitely rusted out on the bottom. One of my tires is eroded. I previously had another tire eroded. And yeah, every time I talk about my car, everyone just kind of laughs at me, and they're just like, oh dude, you need to get a new car. You need to get a new car. I'm not getting in that car. That car is dangerous. It's not a dangerous car, but it's not the best. So yeah, I definitely need to get a new one. Not like a newer car, but like at least like a newer year. I think this is a 2010 Ford. So I kind of want to upgrade to at least like a 16 to like 18 like model. But if that's not possible, then I'm fine with like a like lower year, as long as it has lower miles. So I was kind of looking at some cars this week, just trying to see if there's anything good out there for me. There's a couple out there. I definitely want like a SUV, or like kind of what I have now, just like where I kind of get up into it or don't like fully sit down into it. Because my previous car, I had a Kia Sportage that was like the size of it was fine. It wasn't a big deal, but it was like a little bit smaller. But I mean, as long as it's not like a coupe, or I think it's a sedan where you like sit down into it, I should be fine, because I hate sitting down into cars. Like if I ever got I don't think I ever see myself getting like a sports car or like an exotic car in my life, because it's just something where you get into it and then you just like, you're folded like this, you're like hunched over, and I don't really think that's fun, especially like just to sit in it and like drive around in it all day. For me personally, I don't think that's fun. Like I'd rather have like a Toyota 4Runner or something a little bit bigger where I can get up into. Like, I mean, for me personally, a truck, I think that's too big. But like, if I got one, I wouldn't be mad about it. But I'm also not going to spend like 75 grand to get a truck. I think that's just kind of a waste of money, especially like if I'm not like hauling stuff around or working construction or labor or something like that. So that's just kind of me. Anyways, I'm going to finish this pre-workout and then I'm going to head into the gym. Alrighty guys, so workout is now finished. I did back and biceps today, and overall it's a pretty good workout. I did some pretty heavy like bent over rows and a couple of other power movements, and then I also did some good isolation movements as well. For biceps, my workout was kind of decent, but it was still a really good workout. Overall, I would give the workout like I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. Pretty decent. Did a little bit of cardio at the end too, but that's only because I'm going to be going to play frisbee golf, so I'm going to be walking around a little bit, getting some steps in. So I am on my way now, actually, to go play frisbee golf. It's a quick 9-hole course. The first 4 holes are pretty short, and then the last hole, the 9th hole, is actually pretty short as well. So there's really only like 4 long holes on the whole entire course. But I will say, one time I have actually thrown the frisbee so far that it landed on the street, and I was not expecting that the one time that I did it. So I had to basically run onto the street and retrieve it. It was pretty funny, but it was also like a super busy road, so I'm like, oh shit, I gotta like take my time to run out there and go grab it. But it's a good solid course. I have also thrown my frisbee over like a I guess you could say like water reserve, like a water reserve like wall, and like a water treatment wall. So I've thrown it over there, so I've had to climb that before and you know, grab my frisbee. But overall it's a really good course, not super challenging, which is kind of what I like about it. It's like a good kind of practice / warm-up course, and the temperature right now is a solid 42 degrees out, so not too terrible to where my hands are gonna fall off, but you know, it's cold enough to where I'm gonna feel it when I'm throwing it. So super excited. Definitely gonna be working on my mid-range game today. I know I said that I wanted to get another mid-range frisbee, so I think after this, when I get home, I'm gonna go ahead and look online and see if I can find anything that I like, and maybe like order 1 or 2 of those just to have. But we'll see. Like if there's like a deal running right now, maybe I'll get some more. But that is the plan when I get home. I'll just go ahead and check online, see if there's anything that I like. But I'm really actually hoping to practice a little bit of my putting game as well when I get there. So that is like one of the things that I struggle with most when it comes to frisbee golf. So we'll kind of see how that goes and try and work on improving that. I feel like the best way to improve that though is just practicing somewhere where you're just aiming at something the whole time and going around in a circle, kind of like a classic putting drill where you go from a certain distance, go around it, try from each angle, And then once you perfect that, then you move on to the next distance. Once you get it all in a row, then you move on to the next distance and you keep going. Once you fail, then you restart. And it's basically just a good way to practice putting from all angles. I won't be doing that today, but when it comes to Frisbee golf, for me, I am more of a backhanded thrower. I feel like a lot of my forehand throws aren't as good. Maybe that's just because I'm not used to curving it as much. So really just trying, I feel like trying to work on my forehand throws is going to be like one of my biggest like practices this year, other than putting, because I feel like my backhanded throw is pretty good because I know exactly where it's going to land every time I do it. And I also feel like a lot of times with my forehand throwing, it's usually pretty good, but I'm inconsistent with landing it where I want it to land, if that makes sense. So I kind of know the general area of where it's going to land, but I can never like if it's a longer throw, I can never consistently throw it the way that I want to throw it. And I also feel like a lot of the times my power when it comes to forehand throwing, it's not as far as and I feel like a lot of the times when it comes to my backhand throwing, it doesn't go as far as my forehand. So I could probably get like another, I would say 30 to 60, I would say yards, maybe feet might be like better, like 30 to 60 feet out of a forehand throw rather than a backhand throw. I'm usually shorter, 30 to 60 feet. So that's kind of why I like throwing forehand as well, just because when I throw forehand, my throws are a lot more consistent in distance, as to where backhand they're inconsistent and they don't go as far. But I know like a lot of professionals and a lot of other people prefer to throw forehand because they get a lot more distance out of it. But for me, I usually get a lot more distance when I throw forehand. So I definitely need to work on that. As for my car issues, when it comes to this car, I've had it for I think I've had it for about 4 years now. And I feel like every year with this car, I always have a new issue with it, which kind of sucks. But that seems to be the problem with this car and my previous car. But I mean, that's kind of what happens when you buy cars that have higher mileage and they're a little bit older. So with this car, when I first got it, the alignment was messed up on the front two wheels. So they were basically tilted in, and you could see like the treads of the inside of the wheels starting to deteriorate. And what happened the next year? The next year, my exhaust pipe fell off, or not my exhaust pipe, my pre-exhaust pipe fell off. So basically, before it actually hit my full before it hit my actual exhaust filter, my pre-exhaust fell off. And it was just dragging on the floor, and I was getting so much crap for it. I'm like, hey, it rusted out. I don't know what to tell you. This car gets very rusty. It's just like kind of how the car is built. So that rusted out and fell off. So I had to cut the pipe off and basically replace it. and now it's basically replaced, and it looks like a 5-year-old repaired it. So that was pretty fun. And then the next year, basically one of my rims started to erode, so I had to replace that because it would slow leak, and basically every week I would have to get air in my tire, so that was really annoying. I eventually replaced it because I only had an issue with one tire, and then shortly after, not even shortly after, literally days after, because I think the tire shop messed it up, my other tire started leaking. So that started to leak basically every month. So I basically had to put air in it every month, and that continued on for a year. And now I still have that issue, and now it's shortened to like two to 3 weeks. So super annoying. And now I am having power steering issues as well, which I was starting to see signs of it early, but it really only happened when it rained. So my power steering would kind of like not give out, but it would start to trip, and that was really annoying. And it's now, I think my power steering is completely shot. So either I'm gonna have to replace that, or I can get a new car. This car right now is almost at 200,000 miles, so it's pretty much at the end of the cycle. Oh, I also forgot, I had to replace my trunk door lock system because for some reason when I got the car, I basically could not open my trunk door because the locking mechanism wasn't working on it. So I basically had to go back there, unscrew all the bolts, and replace the lock. That was super cheap. That was an easy fix. It was $26. Not super challenging to do, but one screw back there was like rusted on there, and even with WD-40 and everything else, and even like power tools.
Your right rear brake light is out.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, I replaced that, and one of the bolts was rusted on there, so I had to cut that bolt out to be able to replace that. And now I also have a brake light out as well in my car, so I think my car is at the end of its run. Like I said previously, I always get a bunch of crap for how bad my car is. So it's a 2010, it's 14 years old, and I think it's finally time to go ahead and get rid of it. As much as I've been wanting to hold on to it, I just renewed my license plate as well, so that kind of stinks that I basically renewed it and then now I have to get a new car, so that's not fun. That is not a fun situation there at all, but that's kind of what happened. So I'm going to be looking to kind of try and find a more, I think, a reliable car. So I'll probably be looking at like a Toyota, I think, or I think Honda. I know Toyota's a reliable car. I forget what the other cars are that are also reliable, but got hair in my mouth. Yeah, I'm basically going to be trying to look for a more reliable car that I don't have to try and fix every year, because at this point I would say it's pretty annoying to kind of have to replace something every year in the car. But then again, I didn't spend a lot on the car, and I would say on repairs in total, I've probably spent like $2 to $3 grand maybe, and I spent $3 grand on the car, so it lasted me 4 years. In total, I've probably spent on the car, I don't know, like $5 to $6 grand, which is that a lot of money? Kind of, but also for a car that's lasted like 4 years. I would say it's not so bad. So I'll probably at least get like 1,000 out of this car, which is decent. I don't know. I mean, I would say like the car itself lasting this long is kind of a surprise. And it's always funny when something new happens and I tell everyone about it, especially all my friends, because they're always like, holy shit, how's that car holding up? And I'm like, trust me, I don't know. Because the previous owner before I bought this car, he was actually one of my buddies. Well, he still is one of my buddies. So the previous owner is one of my buddies, and I bought it from him. And knowing how he is, and knowing how he drives, yeah, he definitely did a number on this car. So, yeah, it's pretty funny to think about, like, why this car is so beat up. But also I think it's just like the car as well. Like, the car itself isn't that great of a car. Like, every car of this model is always rusted out and always has a issue with it. So it's kind of understandable that the car itself is like rusting out and failing and doing all that stuff. So alrighty guys, so I just got to the Frisbee golf course and I'm about to go out there and play a full game, no practice shots. So super excited about this. I'm really trying to do my best for this, so I'm going to be trying out my mid-range a lot to hopefully improve my score. So I will see you guys out there. Alrighty guys, I got my disc golf shoes on. Here is the course. So it is a 9-hole course in total. That is the par score right there. So I need to get a total of 27 today. Every hole is a par 3. Looks like the farthest hole is 390. So anyways guys, that is the course. Hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys out there. Alrighty guys, so I just finished up my round of Frisbee golf and I ended up getting a score of 30. I got 4 on 3 holes, and then I also got I got par on every other hole. So I thought that I got a 2 on 1 hole, but I think I was mistaken, so that's why I had to revert my score. But anyways, did pretty well for a single run and no retry throws, so pretty happy with that. Most of my drives were pretty accurate, but they could have been closer to the holes.